What's up, YouTube? Welcome to D&D Daily. Today I wanted to just have a discussion about underused combat tactics. These are very base rules things that I think everyone should at least kind of have on their radar. Implementing them can actually make a huge difference. Starting with the melee-based characters, this is all about utilizing your athletics skill. The athletics skill is one of the best skills in the game because it calls for any physical prowess. That means holding someone down, knocking someone down, pushing someone away, taking an item from them, throwing things, jumping, climbing, swimming. All of this boils down to athletics. Now we have a lot of classes that are going to be strength-based, that are going to get proficiency on athletics, and are even going to get advantage on athletics. You have barbarians who do everything I just said, just by being a barbarian. You have rune knight fighters who can do what I just said. And that's the thing about these tactics, is that it requires very little investment. And in fact, you can easily overkill it. If you want to be a specialized grappler, the furthest you need to go is high strength, expertise in athletics, get advantage on your athletic checks, your grapple checks, and that's it. And we really don't even need to go that far. You could easily just have proficiency, for example. You could lose the advantage if you needed to. So what I'm saying is that grappling is low-hanging fruit, that many characters can do it well, even some that aren't strength-based. Rogues and bards can actually pull off some pretty amazing grappling builds with their expertise. So with this low-hanging fruit, wrapping your head around all the things it can do is amazing. A common but underutilized combo is to use one attack to trip them. You knock them on the ground, and then your second attack to grapple them. So now they're grappled on the ground. In order to stand up from being prone, you need your movement speed, but grappling takes away your movement speed. So now you're stuck being prone. And now you have disadvantage on your attacks, and they're going to have advantage on attacks against you if they're doing melee attacks. So it's almost like they've restrained you with this simple combo. And the thing is, if they want to escape, it's a whole action to escape grappling, which actually goes to my second tip, which is instead of using the break grapple action, use the push action, because the push action is only an attack instead of your whole action. It's going to be the same check, and if you succeed, you push them away from you, and forced movement, if it takes you out of their reach, breaks the grapple. So you can be better at breaking grapples using the push action than you can the break grapple action. Something kind of interesting. Next up is do a lot of creative things. Grappling someone, you can drag them around at half your movement, so you can throw them into scary places. You can throw them off cliffs, you can throw them into ice water. These are just a couple I've done with my character recently, but there's a million things you can do. Spike traps, pit traps, sand traps, whatever it is, just throw your enemies into it and let that do the damage. And also get creative. You can take their things. If you are a big barbarian who closes in with a wizard, if you're going for that attack and they use their shield, then you're unlikely to hit. You can change your tactic. Instead of going for an attack, you can now just reach out and take their spellcasting modifier from them. How are they going to stop you? They are a scrawny wizard, you are a buff barbarian. Take their wand away, snap it, whatever. Now, unless they have multiple spellcasting focuses, they can't cast a lot of spells. That's a big deal. And that kind of goes into a new tip, a fun little side tip. This wasn't intended for part of this video, but it does stand to reason that as a wizard, as a spellcaster, have multiple spellcasting focuses, just in case that your DM is mean like me and will take your wand and snap it in front of you. So, little side tip, little bonus tip for the video. There's a lot of cool things you can do with athletics that just really are slept on. Now, one interesting thing, and this is me getting into my opinion versus rules as written. Rules as written, I believe that you cannot make a grapple check as an opportunity attack, which makes no sense to me, because if you can punch someone as an opportunity attack, you can grab their shirt. It's the same thing. So I allow grapple checks on opportunity attacks, but as written, I don't believe you're allowed to. But with that being said, if your DM does allow you to make these grapple checks, it makes you very sticky. It's kind of like the Sentinel feat, reaction, hit them, but now they can't move, except you just don't do the damage. But you don't have to take a whole feat to do it. You can do reaction, hold them still, and it's really fantastic. So I don't know about you guys, but in my game, that's allowed. Check with your DM on that one, though. So how about these ranged characters? I talked about that's kind of my melee character take. What about this ranged? Well, with the ranged take, I suggest using cover. Cover is a built-in game system. With 1/2 cover, you gain 2 to your AC. With 3/4 cover, you gain 5 to your AC. You also gain these to dexterity checks against, so you're taking cover from the fireball, so you get bonus dexterity check. Or full cover, you can't even be hit because you're fully obscured. Now, what I suggest is you verbalizing this to your DM. As an archer, I shoot my bow a couple times, I want to find the nearest cover. They'll say, oh, there's this cover, there's this tree, there's this corner, whatever. And then you get behind it and say, how covered am I? Is this 1/2, 3/4 covered? Like, actually verbalize these questions so that when the DM answers, you now have the place to say, okay, now my AC is actually 21 instead of 19 because I'm in this cover. This is huge for the squishier characters, but it's also just good fundamentals. If you have nothing else to do, get in cover. It just increases your defenses. It's gonna mean you get hit less. It's mean you're gonna make more saves. It's just really, really good. We're D&D Daily. We release new D&D content all the freaking time. If you love D&D, this is the spot for you. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you soon. Peace.